Hello, I'm Wade, and we're going to look at the Kennedy curse and Flight 111. I always use 6 ciphers. I use the ordinal, the reduction, reverse, reverse reduction, SKV exception, and the Chaldean ciphers. Kennedy is 78, 33, 111, 30, 42, and 27 in those respective ciphers. Now, not every number matches every word every time. But if you keep looking at these and seeing how these numbers connect, you kind of start getting a feel for it. At least I think so. The 111 is the curse of the Kennedys. It reminds me of a certain energy drink logo when I see it. The 111 also comes into play with Lincoln or Lincoln. You see, from 1765, the beginning of the Revolution, to 1876, when Custer died in a sin offering or a blood sacrifice for the Centennial, was 111 years. In 1861, Lincoln was president. If I calculated it right, and I do have number dyslexia, there were 13 days of this man's presidency in which this nation wasn't technically in a civil war with each other. 8 days after he was elected, it started, and 5 days after it ended, he died. If I'm wrong, put it down there. Or he actually was shot 5 days after he died, early in the morning afterwards. We have a similar situation. So from that death in 1865 to 1976 is the Bicentennial. So we have 1765 to the Centennial. Then if we hiccup backwards, we have Lincoln. So we go up to the 1976 Bicentennial. We hiccup the same amount of years, that 14, 15, I think it's 15 years, 65 to, so 14 years. Oh, 14 years. You hiccup back 14 years for both of them to their elections. The only difference is Kennedy died in 63 and Lincoln died in 65. But Dorothy Kilgallen died in 65, and she was carried looking for his murder, and that it was a symbolic replacement for him. Okay, where do we go? So Kennedy was elected in 1961. He has the 111 gematria in his name, and he was killed on 11/22. Now, those are both master numbers. What's the next master number? Well, it's 33. Where is it in this ritual? It's in the gematria of Kennedy's name, 33 in the reverse cipher. Now let's look at Flight 111. What airport did it leave off of? Oh, okay, hold on a second. Yes, it was called the UN Shuttle. Let me see. I'll get you to the top of the page with me. And I'm just asking because I saw this STS-107, and of course I looked it up, and you see there what the gematria was. So was this flight a numerical preview of the 2003 space shuttle disaster? I haven't looked at the space shuttle disaster, and I'm not planning on it right now. I'm still trying to get my Custer stuff recorded, and I keep getting sidetracked with all these 22s and 14s, and so. And then I saw this Flight 111, saw the Kennedy stuff, and I'm sorry, I digress. So let's look at Flight 111, called the UN Shuttle. So Flight 111 left John F. Kennedy Airport, the Kennedy Space Day Center for the Columbia in 2003. The Columbia had the STS 107 was what it was called, has reverse gematria of 111. So, and we're going to look at this 111 in a minute too. We're going to spend a couple of minutes on a website. Back to Swiss Air Flight 111 with 229 souls on board. The wreckage was found 50 meters below the surface of the water. 54 is significant, as time and space may have something to do with it, I believe, as discovered in the Custer sacrifice cipher. Only one passenger of this air traffic accident was found intact. Kind of reminded me of how Miles Keel was the only one that wasn't butchered at all, and Custer wasn't butchered except he had his eardrums punctured out. You have to watch my Custer sacrifice, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So, and I don't know if the one pastor has anything to do with it. I just thought it was interesting. They departed John F. Kennedy, again at Kennedy with the 111 gematria, piloted by Urs Zimmerman, 49 years old. Zimmerman has a gematria of 33 in the Chaldean cipher. Urs Zimmerman, the combined names is 44 in the same Chaldean cipher. 33, 44. So we have we have a 22, 33, and now a 44. Oh, do I have it? Oh, we have a shit. I don't have 22 on this one yet. Anyways, 229 souls spelled out has a gematria of 111, again in the Chaldean cipher. The misspelled plane had 3 Pratt and Whitney PW4462 engines. PW4462 has a gematria of 22. There it is in the reverse reduction cipher. The engines had logged 36,000 hours. You'll see this 36 combined with this 22 on lots of these different stories, folks. The same thing with the 33 and 44. They're all sprinkled in. So this has become a watershed moment for me, I think. Oh, it looks like I'm at the bottom there. Because I finally discovered what I believe the 14 represents in this, as well as the Custer sacrifice. The pilot said, Pan, Pan, Pan. Pan has a gematria of 31, 13, which is a mirror of 31, 50, 14, 13, and 14 in those 6 ciphers that I use. And this is why I always tack that Chaldean cipher under my studies, because it ties us with this so well. And of course, the 50 and the 14 is also going to play a part in the Dorothy Kilgallen cipher too. So, these are all similar numbers to the Custer sacrifice. Of the 229 souls on board, 14 of them were crew. Oh, that pesky 14, the 14 of Pan. Now, Pan in the airline talk is, it's not SOS, it's, I just looked it up too. Something about needing another route, right? Possible, alternate, something. So you can look it up yourself. I don't have to do all the work, do I? So Pan is the god of nature, the wild, shepherds, flocks, and 14 and wilds and mountain wilds. Excuse me. Why is this so important? Because Pan is a goat god, and Custer was the goat of West Point. And if you watch the My Custer sacrifice videos, you'll see how that was a blood sacrifice, and that 14 is all over it. 14, 4, or what I'm calling 144, maybe if you want to look at it that way, but 14s and 4s, the 22, it's just insane, and I gotta keep finishing that up. So, but I keep finding things like this. So I think if you watch those, I can at least have you think of the possibility that maybe that was a blood sacrifice and a little bighorn that day or greasy grass. Let's look at the numbers at 22:10. 52 minutes after takeoff. So Sam, we got 22s, we got 14s, we got 10s in this disaster. 52 minutes after takeoff. 52, of course, is from the Kilgallen poisoning. So I'm seeing this 52 popping up in other things. I didn't see a lot of 52 in the Custer, but I'm seeing it here in this 20th century. Okay, so I saw the time 22:18. 18 is very prominent in that other ritual, and there was something about the distance of 66 or 76 nautical miles and a fuel dump 40 miles from someplace. All of these numbers are significant. They needed a safe place to dump. Well, I'm just being sarcastic there. To dump poison fuel on Earth. Okay. So we see that 40, 60, and 76 all in death accidents and rituals is what I've been finding here. Where did this crash happen? 44 degrees, 24 minutes, and 33 seconds. That 24 is a mirror of a 42 somewhere up there. And of course, we can see that 44 and 33 sticks out. That was all north, and then 63 degrees, 58 minutes, and 25 seconds west. 44, 33, and 58. And of course, the 63, which is a mirror of the 36, but also Kennedy died in 63. So this is my piece on Kennedy Curse 111 and the Swiss Air Flight 111. And let's take a look at this. Is so interesting to me, and hopefully it is to you. Properties of the number 111. This is called writingthebeast.com. Well, it can symbolize the Trinity of God, the three ones, earth, and one and three times saint. It represents the God, Father, and Holy Trinity. It can also symbolize the sky. It's a solar number. According to the Gabalan Tarot, this is very interesting because we see with this 22, we've been seeing all over these ciphers, the sum of chapters of the four Gospels plus those of the Revelation or Apocalypse gives us a result of 111. 89 for the Gospels and 22 for the Revelation of John. The Popes John Paul I and John Paul II have been elected both by a conclave of 111 cardinals. And interesting because if you watch my Ronald Reagan cipher, you'll see he was prominently in with Pope John Paul II. And Pope John Paul II was the 111th Pope that this Pope predicted to be something Peter the Roman. Well, let's read it. Number of mysterious currencies of the papacy of popes of Saint Malachi, who predicts 111 popes from his pontiff during his lifetime in the year 1143. So Pope John Paul II would have been the 110th, and he was in Reagan's time. And right after him was, what was his name? The guy that just came before Francis. Look it up. You can look it up. Who's the Pope after John Paul II? I'll leave it down in the comments. If I don't see it before too long, because I don't really think anybody's watching this, I'll leave them down there myself. God, it's going to bother me now. I can't think of his name. And I don't have it up on the top bar either. Okay, so let's forget that. But anyways, that might be something important to look at in all of this. Now, these air disasters might not all be planned. It could just be coincidence. My channel is kind of a coincidence, but I started looking at this, and after a while, you think, how many coincidences are there before? There might be something to it. if they're not planned, maybe at least shows an order to everything going on. But I'm also looking at history, and I don't believe history is truthful to us. So that leads me to think maybe it is planned, and this is all horseshit. So there's my Kennedy curse and Flight 11 video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Thank you.